Welcome to Luthiers Tips, Tools and Training from Crimson Guitars. I'm Ben Crow. I'm a guitar builder on a journey. I am in the process of pushing my boundaries, learning new skills and trying to apply them to my guitars to see what happens. Something I have wanted to do for at least a decade is to learn some basic jewelry making techniques and bring that in specifically to inlays. A few months ago, for example, I had an alembic, a custom shop alembic guitar with a dragon in. If you haven't checked out that video, please go back. That instrument had ivory claws and teeth on the dragon, and the client wanted me to remove the ivory because it is illegal to trade and replace it with sterling silver. Fun? No worries. They had done a very shoddy inlay job on this £40,000 guitar, but the eye of the dragon was a gemstone, and they'd literally just dropped it in, flooded it with resin, and left it. It can be done better. It can be done so much better. On this project, the front inlays are cabochon, so round-backed gemstones. And those I literally did just drop them in, polish them pretty much after backing them with silver foil. The side dots though, I am actually taking tiny little faceted, I think synthetic sapphires, I've forgotten what I ordered now. And I am bezel setting them in a silver tube and then putting those in the side of the fretboard. Now, the reason to do this is it's not just aesthetic. It's not just let's try and do something different. Having a faceted stone on the side of the neck, specifically surrounded by a ring of silver or bright metal, means that even in low light situations, one or two of the facets should be picking up some sort of light from somewhere and telling you where you are on the neck. Glow in the dark inlays, you got nothing on this. Oh, by the way, this is going to be very hard to film, so yeah, well, let's see how it goes. These are 2mm stones. Come on, burn it. Dusty. What I have is a tiny 3mm tube of pre-annealed sterling silver, which means that it's very soft. This is actually slightly problematic because as I'm manipulating and adjusting this, it's twisting. The rest of it is twisting and getting in the way. But it's nice and soft, and I can manipulate it and adjust it, and then yeah, it works. First thing I need to actually get, if I'm going to do more of this, is a proper work holding device. If you have the proper tools for a job, you are almost halfway there. If you're a maker, a creative, if you are used to using your hands, then you can pretty much do anything, genuinely. Having the right tools makes everything so much easier. So I'm holding this in a little clamp device. Initially, flatten the edge off, flatten the end off, and I've got a little jig for that. Now this is my cutting jig, which we'll see later, but if you can find the hole, there we go. Put the tube through, and then essentially I'm running my file on the wood. And that's squaring off the end. It's not absolutely necessary, but using a crimson sanding stick, and this is a genuinely useful tool for jewelers, I would suggest, just to getting a little bit slight improvement on the finish there. Now I've got a variety of carving burrs for my rotary tool. Initial stage with a round burr, just opening up the inside of the tube there, and then I'm going to go along with my rotary tool and this is a dental rotary tool. It takes slightly smaller tools than a Dremel, the shaft width, but it is incredible. Adjustable speed and adjustable direction with a foot switch, and it's quiet. I love this machine. I was expecting to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds for this, and it was like 150 or so. There is a lot going on this workbench. I should tidy up. Silver, hello. Oh, there we go. I'm basically going to go in and create a small shelf down inside the tube onto which the stone will set. You can probably hear in my voice that I have done 18 of these so far. This is for 2 twin instruments that we're building out of cowrie. Oh, by the way, you guys asked for new projects. Here's a new project. And a new format. If you want to watch the full build, the whole bang shoot like you normally would see on this channel, we are going to put together a super edit, but the way moving forward that we're going to be making videos is I will do some details. I will do a part of the build, something that interests me, that is particularly in my skill set, or not, as the case may be. And then my fantastic custom shop team at Crimson will do the rest, film bits and pieces. You will have the video on this channel of whatever I've ended up doing, and then at some point a little bit later on we'll have a full build video, so you can still see that whole process. And if there are any processes that you would like to see, any videos, any tutorials that you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments. I'm not wearing goggles because I'm looking through this, and yeah, don't shout at me. And then my hand is touching my other hand so that I'm in full contact and I know where everything is. And I've just routed a slight ledge into the tube. Next up, and this is because this tube is just slightly smaller than I would like. I've got a tiny tool with a nice shoulder on it, and I'm just pushing it in and slightly opening out the tube. So at this point I've got a ledge on the inside of the tube, and this is open and ready for the stone. And here are the stones. So at the beginning of this evening, there were 24 of them in here. I now have 3 left. I've dropped 4, found, at one point I had 19 stones left and needed 20. I dropped 1, found 1 in the same half second, different stones. And then right at the end I found 2 I've got a spare. So yeah, I need a proper jeweler's bench with something to catch it, and yeah, we live and learn. So this is a case of licking one's finger, picking up the stone you need, be careful not to drop it, and then slowly manipulate it bottom down into the tube. Then using a little end of a toothpick, I just want to situate it and make sure that the flat of the stone is nice and level. Guitar building, it's the macro giant things, relatively speaking, and then I'm going down to thinking in microns, literally. So this stone is now sitting there quite nicely. I happen to actually have somehow a stone setting tool, and this is a domed tool with ridges internally, and basically you put it over the tube and then just push down and manipulate, and that closes up the edges on all sides at the same time. Before I realized I had this, I found another tool that is essentially it's a doming device. This is the half round thing into which you would tap metal to create a dish, and that also does a similar job. The other possibility is to basically tap one side, then the opposite side, then the right hand quadrant, then the left hand quadrant, and then tap it all around. You can use pliers. I want gem setting pliers. I want those little bits of sticky rubber that helps you pick up stones. I'm very, very into tool acquisition. So that's why I do all of this, really. Now I'm not grinding. I'm not going all the way around and using the teeth on this to grind away the metal. I'm literally pushing the soft silver over itself so that it encompasses the stone. So you can see what we've ended up with here. Okay, using this absolutely gorgeous little hammer. Okay, come on then. This is difficult. I've got the light and the camera in the way. I'm not just hammering, I'm hammering and sliding up and off the setting, just to really push it in there. And then this is a highly polished face. Burnish it down. This is probably not necessary, but it feels right to me. I really do need to find, and I'm sure I've got it, I need to find the proper work holding. Now, if you push too hard on any quadrant, you're gonna push the stone out and it's gonna ping, and unless you're very lucky, you won't find it again. Burnished round. And we've got something already starting to look pretty cool. Files. Earlier on, I was using sanding sticks, and these things are absolutely fantastic, but these are silicon carbide, sorry, impregnated pieces of sandpaper. Silicon carbide is 9.5 on the Mohs hardness scale, only slightly softer than diamond, and will scratch your stone. Now, I managed to avoid that, but I realized that my file is not that hard, and this is why you will see jewelers willy-nilly just using fine files around multi-thousand-pound diamonds, etc. So I'm now just carefully and slowly, and not multitasking at all, filing a bevel around the stone, trying to release some of the facets that are now hidden underneath a dome of metal. I can hear when I hit the stone, and that tells me to move on. And also, normally, I'm looking through this. You hear when I'm hitting the stone there? Now please, I am absolutely sure that there are jewelers watching, people telling me what I'm doing wrong. This is only the second time in my life that I've ever tried to bezel set something. The first time was in the side of the nut on the hand tool only build, and I did a poor job of it. I'm also talking and trying to avoid the camera and doing a fairly poor job of this bit. But if there are tools that I need, if there are techniques that I need to look into, or if you're relatively local to me and fancy either popping over or having me visit your workshop for a tutorial, give me a shout. I'm game. In fact, I would very much appreciate the help. I don't want to risk going too far there, but essentially, You can see some sparkle. Oh, you did there for a fraction of a second. Oh, I love filming tiny things. Next up, I've got the rotary tool and I'm going to change out the bit. And this is a pretty cool little impregnated rubber polishing system. There's 2 or 3 of them available. Again, dental stuff really, to polish and fine shape the edges of the bevels. Once I've checked that I've not gone too far. And actually, yeah, it's looking like my stone is falling out. So I'm going to reset this and stop and concentrate for a second. Nearly lost that one. You can see it's a very simple process, and assuredly having a few of the right tools and many jewelry tools, jewelry making tools are actually available in the strangest of places. I never thought that I'd be able to get dental carving and engraving kits on Amazon. Cousins UK is a place I use for getting the silver and the stones and things like that. So yeah, it's all good. Anyway, foot switch operated polishing tool. And these polishing wheels were on Amazon as well, actually. I'm not sure if you saw the stone pop out at that point. That's happened a lot. Bing! Let's look for the stone. This work area is an absolute, it's full of stuff, but I actually left that on purpose. These things bounce, and I figured if there's lots of things on the bench still, it'll stop it from going too far, because once it hits the carpet, once it hits the carpet, I'm screwed. Okay, so there's one there, and there it is. Not sure if you can see it sparkle at the end of my finger. There you go. The best way to find these things is to move a light source and look for the facet. It's a fascinating tip. Okay, so I'm going to remake that one from scratch, off camera, and then show you the final results. In fact, I'm going to make the next 2 because filming this, adding an order of complexity. But I sincerely hope to see some of you do the same thing, and in interesting ways. Ha, I lied. I'm going to do the whole thing on camera, actually. Speed mode, engaged. And here we are back on par and at the final polish. Try and get a close up now. Cool, huh? I think so. Then we're back to this jig. So here is the bezel set. Gemstone, it's in a tube. It looks handmade. This is not jeweler level stuff yet. And essentially, I'm presenting it through the jig. which is giving me a basically I'm cutting them all square and to length. And then poke it through like that. So tiny, tiny, tiny little thing. The side dots have been marked out and pre-drilled with a small, 1mm cutter, drill bit, thinking cutters now. I'm going in with a burr just to get them to the right size. I wasn't entirely sure what my plan was. And then I go in with a drill bit in reverse just to widen it out, and there's a depth stop on there. With the drill in reverse, it's not going to tear out any material. And our friend friction is doing the job. Now, of course, I got too excited and forgot to press record while gluing these in. The process is fairly simple though. Once you've got the depth of the cavity all sorted, very carefully so as to not ping the thing, put the stone in its setting in the hole with some medium super glue behind it and gently press it down. The glue goes everywhere, and I cleaned it up using a crimson, this is one of the limited edition ones that's they've just been out, a crimson fret end dressing file. The nice thing is it's got safe edges on both sides, and essentially you go up and the hard edge gets rid of the super glue, but obviously pre-finish. Next time I do this, I think what I might end up doing is the bezel setting, and then put that bezel setting in a slightly larger tube with chamfers going down and facing in. And that way you've got even more facets, and I would be able to have them flush fit into the neck. So yeah, it's a learning process. I'm loving the process of learning new skills, and just, well, the experimentation of it keeps everything fresh and interesting. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'm sorry for that halo behind me. I've only just seen that. Thank you for watching. Please, if you are not yet subscribed, click subscribe, that bell icon, all that nonsense. Let me know what you think of this. What would you do? Have you done this? Would you do it differently? What did I do wrong? What can I do next? The other neck is going to go to headquarters to have the rest of the material removed before the inlays go in. And yeah, thanks for watching. I love you guys. See you soon.